Alright, and here we go. And hello, Indy. Welcome. Glad you can make it. Hello there, everybody. This is General Snivy, and welcome to my new Let's Play.
Activision presents a smashing blast from the past.
And hello, Moxley. Welcome. Glad you can make it as well.
Beenox recreation.
Welcome, everyone, to Let's Play Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled. This game is a remake of the original Crash Team Racing, originally released on the PlayStation back during the 90s during Crash's heyday, if you know what I mean. This game originally released on PlayStation 4, and I believe it also came out on Nintendo Switch. I don't know if this came out on Xbox One or not. I think it did, though I don't quite recall, but I do know there's no PC release, at least not yet. And yes, I saw that as well, Moxley. I saw you're rebranding yourself as such. So anyway, when it comes to this game and this remake, I know that this game is not exactly everyone's cup of tea. In fact, from what I recall about a year or two ago, I think Slim Kirby tried to do a Let's Play of this game in the Switch version, but he was not having a very good time with this game, as he found it a bit too difficult. And I can definitely see why. That much is certain. Why do I have to view this again? I know for a fact that I've already, accepted all these terms and conditions, blah blah blah. I know, it's Activision. I'm not even gonna bother reading this crap. It's just more the terms of service, privacy policy, and things of that nature. So, nothing really to worry about here whatsoever. So, of course, you do have to accept the terms in order to even play the game. Otherwise, you can't play it whatsoever. So, anyway, back to what I was saying. This game can be considered to be really damn difficult at times. Yeah. As you can see, I am playing the PlayStation 4 version of this game. I don't own the Switch version, as I was more interested in the PlayStation 4 version of the game to begin with. And if I recall, I remember getting this game for Christmas not that long ago. I think it was about a year or two back. I did play through this game, and I've played through the original classic, or no, I played through the entirety of Adventure Mode, and managed to get 101%. I've also started a hard playthrough of the game, but I never finished it because, well, it was kind of driving me bonkers, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm about to head out. So I left it at 32%. So when it comes to the adventure mode is the game's main play, or the main course of the game. Hot Tub streams on Twitch? Honestly, I have no freaking clue. It's like, Twitch all of a sudden has a double standard. It's like, you're going to be doing absolutely nothing wrong and Twitch will ban you because they feel like it. And yet they leave people who show off their features and will leave those people alone. Why? I have no clue. Don't ask. That's alright. It is what it is. So anyway, as I was saying, the adventure mode is the main coup de grace of Crash Team Racing. Oh man, yeah, I have to agree, and the Twitch is indeed a jerk. It can be a jerk, sometimes. But anyway, as getting back on topic once again, my lord. Adventure mode is the coup de grace. It is the main feature of the game. And once you finish this, you might be tempted to play some online matches. I'm not too sure if I'm going to be doing that myself in this playthrough, but really, my main objective is to show off all of adventure mode and go for the 101% completion. Now, when it comes to Nitro-Fueled, when you're starting a new file or a new playthrough, and select an empty file as such, let's start a new game, you have two different play styles when it comes to the adventure mode. There's Nitro-Fueled, and there's also Classic. Nitro-Fueled allows you to play with any items that you've unlocked and switch and customize your characters, yada yada yada. And let me tell you folks, I have unlocked a fairly decent number of characters, including all the initial characters you get, but throughout the course of this game's lifespan, it added in so many new characters, and even some cross characters from Spyro the Dragon. So, in other words, we have Spyro, we have Hunter, and I believe that's about it when it comes to the cross characters. I'm not too sure, but anyway, Nitro-Fueled allows you to change around your characters, cards, and customization, and you can also play on one of three difficulties: easy, medium, and hard. Now, when it comes to Classic, on the other hand, this is how it works. It more or less recreates the difficulty scale of the game as it originally was back on the original PlayStation 1. And when you select this mode, you're pretty much stuck with it for that particular save file. And you also are stuck with the one character that you're going to be playing as throughout the entire thing. And I think with Classic as well, you're only able to select from the initial roster as well. So yeah, the initial roster is one of 8 characters. We have Crash, Coco, Polar, Pura, Dr. Neo Cortex, Tiny Tiger, Dr. Engine, and Dingodile. Each character has their own unique traits when it comes to their carts. As you can see, Crash and I believe Neo Cortex are the balanced characters. Tiny Tiger is more built for speed. Coco is built for acceleration, but she has a fairly decent amount of speed and just overall fairly balanced stats. And when it comes to turning, this really implies handling stats, like how well a cart handles and makes turns. And that is without drifting or doing anything crazy like that. And again, when it comes to the Nitro-Fueled mode, you're able to select any and all characters that you've unlocked throughout the course of your entire career that you've done when it comes to playing this game, whether it be playing through all of Adventure Mode, or playing some online matches, etc., etc. Now, as far as what I'm going to be doing, I am going to be playing on Classic Mode mainly for 2 reasons. The first reason is Classic, in my personal opinion, is fairly balanced when it comes to difficulty. It's not too easy, and it can be difficult at times, but not to the point where I want to pull my goddamn hair out. Or, in other words, just quit the playthrough altogether, like Slim Kirby did. I mean, I get it. There are some things that people find not so difficult, like, say, Bloodborne. That, I know, is a very difficult game. I tried playing it. I didn't like it. I was going crazy, and I was like, screw it. And I put it down forever. But there are some people out there who think Bloodborne is way too easy and want an even harder mode. Those people are freaking masochists. Let's just say that. Oh boy. Okay. Now, as far as whom we're going to go with from this playthrough, during my first run, I played as Crash and got some pretty dang good results. Who to go with this time? I mean, to be fair, having balanced stats is a good option. Yep, I know what that's like oh too well. Let's see. I do know I don't want to go with a more acceleration-based character, but then again, who knows? You know, I'm kind of in the mood of playing as Neo Cortex this time around. Might as well play as one of the bad guys for once, am I right? So, we're gonna go with him. And here we go. Let's start the adventure. To answer your question, I don't know. I think the initial 8 you have unlocked right away, but you will unlock more and more characters as you play through the game and complete the adventure mode. Sure is taking quite a while to load the frickin' game. I mean, granted, I know that load times are pretty bad, but even so, it's kind of annoying.
Greetings, creatures of this planet. I come to compete.
So, you pesky Earth slugs like to race, eh? Well, I, nitrous oxide, am the fastest racer in the galaxy. I travel the stars looking for creatures to test my skills.
It's a little game I call Survival of the Fastest. Here's the way we play.
I challenge the best driver of your world to a race for the planet. If your driver wins,
I'll leave your miserable little rock alone. But if I win, I will turn your entire globe into a
concrete parking lot and make you my minions. Get ready to race for the fate of your planet.
Let's go!
That's too funny. How to drive. Too funny. Alrighty, come back soon, Moxley.
Welcome to the adventure area. You can travel around this area and practice your driving skills. The dots and stars on the map represent warp pads, which lead to races. When they flash, it signifies they are open to play. To access a racetrack, drive onto a warp pad that has an active warp vortex, and it will take you to the track's starting line. Finish the track in first place to win a trophy. As you collect more trophies, other tracks will unlock. Good luck and drive fast.
Now that's what we call a funky mask. So yeah, depending on the character you choose to go with, you'll either have Uka Uka or Aku Aku to narrate your adventure and give you hints and tips.
To access this track, you must first collect the number of trophies required to turn on the warp pad. To get trophies, you must race other open tracks and come in first place.
So yeah, as your representative mask just said, as you're driving around the island, you'll find different warp pads. And in order to unlock those warp pads, you do need the corresponding trophies to unlock those tracks. And I believe once you unlock those tracks, you'll be able to play on those tracks at any time back in the main menu. So as far as the controls are concerned, they are the classic controls and are not that of modern gaming, if you know what I mean. To accelerate, rather than holding down R2, you do have to push and hold the X button, just like on the original PS1. Speaking of UI and controls and things of that nature, you can actually change a couple of things if you so desire by going into the options menu. In the options menu, you can change the gameplay information here. We have the minimap, you can turn that on or off, and you can also change the boost bar. And I believe this is automatically set once you select the classic adventure mode difficulty. And the classic bar is the same bar you would see in the original PS1 release. When you see the speedometer, I believe this is a different one. I think this is more so catered towards, I'm not too sure actually, now that I think about it. Let's take a look and find out. Okay, perhaps that was not the right option. Okay. So really, there's not much of a difference between speedometer, the speedometer option, and the classic option from what I can tell right now. But the third and final boost bar that you can view is Nitro-Fueled. This particular bar, honestly, I like this bar the best, as it suits more my playstyle. But that's just me.
You must have 2 boss keys to open this door. You can race a boss after beating all 4 tracks in an area. Beat the boss in a boss race, and the key is your prize.
So, yeah, as... shoot, what was his name again? Uka Uka. I almost called him Aku Aku.
You must have a boss key to open this door. You can race a boss after beating all 4 tracks in an area. Beat the boss in a boss race, and the key is your prize.
Funny enough, if you've had enough of those particular hints, I believe you can push and hold, I believe you can push and hold the triangle button or something to skip the hint altogether, or just mash the start button. I'm not 100% sure on that. But if you need some additional hints without having to drive around and find them yourself, you can just simply hit the pause button and select hints. Here you'll be able to view hints for gameplay hints and hub hints. So, if you need some additional tips, feel free to go into the menus to do so. Now then, let's begin our first race. Now, shall we? So anyway, getting back to the control situation, the acceleration is the X button, brake is square, and to hop and drift, you have to hold the R1 button. And what's really cool is that in this game, or in this remake rather, there's a really cool mechanic where depending on what time you initiate the boost, you'll get an even bigger boost, which is pretty awesome, if I do say so myself. And funny enough, this was a feature introduced in Crash Team Racing Nitro-Kart, which is technically the sequel to Crash Team Racing, aka the inferior one from what I hear. Well, this is rather unfortunate. Usually, when you first get into a new track, you will get a little intro of the actual track itself and get a nice little overview. But I guess because I've already played through this game once before, I don't get those intros anymore, which makes sense, considering that we've already raced on these tracks so many times. Well, anyway, one thing you can definitely do to help you when it comes to mastering the timing of boosting and stuff of that nature is to look at the wheels. As soon as you see them glow orange, that's when you hit the accelerator. As you can see, we also can grab power-ups by running into these boxes here. There are all kinds of different power-ups from TNT, which is more of a defensive item. And there's also more offensive items like rockets and things of that nature. And after you collect 10 Wumpa Fruit, your power-ups will be upgraded. And for every Wumpa Fruit that you grab, you'll also have a bit of additional acceleration. However, you can lose the Wumpa Fruit by falling off the track or getting hit by items. So that's something to keep in mind. So as far as boosting is concerned, like I said, just push and hold R1, hit the L1 button at the right time to activate a boost, and bada bing bada boom, you're flying on your and you're on your way. New skin. Neat. I guess because I haven't played as Cortex yet. So, after every race, you may earn an unlockable or two. And there's also, if you're connected online, you can complete daily and weekly challenges if you so wish. Although, I think most of those challenges involve going online. And after every race, depending on your position and how well you do, and what time you get overall, you will earn Wumpa coins. When it comes to the Wumpa coins, I'll explain what these are all about in a little bit. For now, let's just move on. When it comes to the Wumpa coins, let's say this. When the game first launched, you were able to earn a fairly decent amount of Wumpa coins at a fairly decent rate. Like a couple of hundred per race, mainly in adventure mode, time trial, and you could even earn over 1,000 online. Again, back when the game first launched. However, later on in the game's life cycle, Activision added in a shortcut system where you can buy Wumpa coins with real-life currency. And as a result of that, they nerfed the earn rate hard on the Wumpa coins, which is absolutely ridiculous. It also pissed a lot of people off as well, so that was rather dumb that they even implemented something so heinous.
You win a trophy. You can go faster through turns by power sliding. Press the power slide button while performing a hard turn.
Thank you, Uka Uka. I kind of figured that out on my own. One more thing worth mentioning here is that there are some portals that you may see that require not only a boss key, but I think an additional item? I can't recall for sure. Well, anyway, you may have noticed there are 3 icons above the different portals scattered throughout the hub world. Those items are, of course, the race trophy. You just come in first place, and you earn yourself a trophy. There's also something else that involves a bit of a unique challenge. And we'll get into that after we finish up all the boss races here within this area. Or just more or less finish everything we need to do within the first area. Yeah. I have to agree with you there. The whole shortcut system was just very poorly implemented. So another way you can get yourself a nice big boost is to jump off of a ramp or a really high altitude sort of area like this, get some great air, and bada banga bada booma, you're flying, boy! Although, one thing worth mentioning here is, in order to really get the boost to begin with, you do have to initiate the jump. Just flying off the ramp doesn't count. So that's something to keep in mind. I'll say this as well. This game looks really good on a 4K television. Granted, I am playing the game at 1080p, and even, well, more or less I'm streaming in 720p, but the resolution is set to 1080p. Even so, it does look really good, especially on a 4K television. It really does. And with HDR, it really makes the colors pop. And let me tell you, it really is a sight to behold. Granted, it's not like, say, on the levels of, say, Final Fantasy 15 with HDR, but even so, it's still very, very pretty. Okay. So, you may be wondering, what is it that we use the Wumpa coins for exactly? Well, other than going on that rant about how the earn rate was nerfed into oblivion, the Wumpa coins that you earn are used to unlock many of the game's cosmetics and even characters in general. So, if you want to unlock a character, for example, you're going to have to spend at least 1,000 Wumpa coins. In other words, grind the game a lot in order to unlock everything. And when it comes to me and my career progression, I mean, I've unlocked all of the initial characters, but not all the DLC characters. That's for certain.
Congratulations! You win a trophy! To get a turbo boost while power sliding, wait until the smoke from your exhaust turns black, then press the power slide button. If you wait too long, you'll hear a backfire sound and miss your chance for a boost.
Teacher? By the way, the R1 button isn't the only button that you can use to jump around like a frickin' rabbit to power slide and stuff like that. You can also use L1 as well, just push the opposite button. Speak of the devil and they shall appear. But yeah, you can use either L1 or R1 to start power sliding and then just push the opposite button to activate your turbo boost. Just don't go rapid fire, otherwise you'll kind of not go anywhere fast. Let's just say that much. So, one other thing I will mention here is, I know I haven't exactly streamed in like the past month, technically speaking. Yeah. I'd have to agree. The frame rate in this game, even though it runs at 30 FPS, it's still really smooth for 30 FPS. Not as smooth as 60, but even so. It would be nice to have 60, especially on the PS4 Pro, but alas, it is what it is. No big deal. I could have sworn there were like loose Wumpa fruit on the track, but perhaps that's only in the Nitro-Fueled mode. So really, I think the only way you can get Wumpa fruit in the classic mode is by running into the Wumpa crate boxes. They don't give you any power-ups, but they will give you a fairly decent number of Wumpa fruit, and I think it's position dependent. So the further behind you are, the more Wumpa fruit you'll get out of those crates. I think you can get about as much as 7 or 8 of them in last place. I can't say for sure, because I don't really end up in last place all that often. But when it comes to running into them while in first place, you get roughly... Okay, maybe it's not position dependent. Maybe it's purely random. I don't know for sure. Regardless, though, when it comes to getting the Wumpa fruit out of the crates, you can get up to, I believe, jeez. Alright. As I was trying to say, if I recall correctly, you can get up to as many as 8 Wumpa fruit per crate, but that doesn't happen very often. Most of the time you'll get roughly 5 or 6. And like I said, once you get up to 10 Wumpa fruit, then all your power-ups are upgraded. So, for example, I would lay this potion down. Normally this would just slow my opponent down temporarily and make him spin out. But the upgraded potion, I believe what that will do is it'll mess with their controls for a little bit. This isn't really super effective against computer players, but against human players, yeah, this can really mess up their day. So one really interesting thing about many of the different items you can get in this game, you can use them both offensively and defensively, with the exception of the TNT and the Nitro crates. Those are purely defensive items. But if you see something like a targeting cursor or something flying your way, if you time your drop correctly, you'll be able to block the item completely and be safe. But if you happen to get hit by something that, of course, any Wumpa fruit that you had on you, you will lose some of them. I don't know how many you lose exactly, but I think it depends on the item itself and the strength of the item. And that's really about it. Yes, I have to agree with you there. The 60 FPS upgrade for Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions, it really is a nice upgrade. Wish the same was applied to Mario & Luigi Bowser's Inside Story, but alas, it is what it is.
When you get a TNT crate on your head, start hopping immediately. If you react fast and hop enough times, the TNT crate will fall off your head before it explodes.
That's actually some really good advice. So if you happen to run into a TNT, you could potentially save yourself by hopping like a frickin' rabbit for several seconds. But if you run into a Nitro crate, you cannot do that. You just instantly explode. And it hurts a lot. What's even more interesting is that you could place down some of these defensive items and really mess up your opponents if you put them in the right spots. So, yeah, a bit of a defensive strategy and also a bit of a clever offensive one too, if you really think about it. Alright, getting back to what I was saying before about not streaming for over a month. I know it's been quite a while since I've last streamed anything to begin with. The reason why I haven't streamed since then is because due to a couple reasons. First off, right now I'm burnt out on Banjo-Kazooie, and therefore I'm not really running the game right now. So, right now I'm looking into learning Banjo-Tooie, mainly any percent no DCW. Well, that sucked. I kind of wanted to show off that cool shortcut, but it is a pretty difficult one to hit. One of the hardest shortcuts in the game for sure. But definitely not the hardest thing out there. Oh, hello! Jamar! Thank you for the host, dude. I appreciate it. Anyway. Besides that, I was also working on uploading, really editing all of the individual videos for Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, which that took quite a while to get everything all edited down and all together finished. Yeah, not enough speed to take the shortcut, not even close. Oof, well, that wasn't good. So really, the name of the game when it comes to this is Drift Like No Tomorrow. Snaking is highly encouraged if you possibly can, if you have the skills to pull that off. Although that is a lot easier said than done in this game, but constantly boosting really is the key to victory here. And it's also the key to getting really good times on these tracks. Oof. Well, so much for that plan. So within the remake, when it comes to figuring out when you need to boost, I believe in the original game, you only had one visual cue, and that cue was waiting for the exhaust on the back of your vehicle to turn black. Once it turns black, that's when you activate the boost in the original game. But with CTR Nitro-Fueled, they added some additional cues, mainly with your tires and also your speedometer. And I'm glad you were able to make it, Jamar. Welcome. If I'm... Excuse me. As I was saying, if I'm being frank here, I feel like the best visual cue for viewing the boost, it really depends on whether or not you've played through the original Crash Team Racing. It really varies from person to person. Some people prefer to watch the tires, like me, and others prefer to watch the speedometer or the boost gauge, and others will like to watch the exhaust, like in the original game. Again, it's different from person to person. If you've played this game, what visual cue do you use to determine when to boost? Feel free to share it in the chat right now if you so desire. You crazy enough to race me? I should face Oxide in the big race. I'll show you while driving. Last one across the finish line is a rotten brain. If you say so, asshat. Let's go. Sometimes I also use the nitro bar as well, but I honestly find it easier to look at the tires, but that's just me. Again, everyone's preferences is completely different. I mean, even though I watch the tires, I still can't nail the boosts all the time, especially trying to perfect the boost. And the perfect boost is like the kind of boost that you would unleash at the very last moment, like just as the gauge is about to max out. Which, let me tell you folks, that's definitely not easy. Now, when it comes to the boss races, typically you'll race on a particular racetrack associated with that boss. So, this track right here, I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called Ripper's Tubes. But here you race against Ripperoo. His gimmick is he will throw down an endless supply of TNTs behind him. Once you get in front of him, then the race is essentially won, so long as you can maintain your lead. Of course, this is coming from the guy who played on classic difficulty and has experience with it as such. So other than that, the race is pretty much normal. When it comes to the boss characters themselves, they do have their own unique gimmicks, as I've mentioned previously. But again, so long as you're able to get in front of the boss and maintain your lead, then again, the race becomes very easy. Well, not really very easy. It really depends on the boss of whom you're facing. Man, that feels good. Honestly, I never considered You're crazier than me. Best get your head checked if you think you can beat Oxide. Have a key. Good luck. You'll need it. But yeah, I haven't really considered playing the Switch version of Nitro-Fueled, nor have I considered playing it with a GameCube controller. Although I haven't actually tried it. You could always give it a try yourself if you so desire. But that's up to you. I don't even know if it'll work, honestly, but whatever floats your boat. That is a very good question.
Congratulations on opening this new area. Here, you will find 4 more tracks to race. Good luck.
even though we just opened up a new area and we can technically head on over, I'm actually not going to do that just yet because we have a new course opened up here, Skull Rock.
Collect every crystal in the arena before the time runs out. If you get them all, you will win a prize.
One thing worth mentioning here is when it comes to this particular challenge, if you're playing this on the Nitro-Fueled adventure mode, let me just say this. The time limit of which is given to you, it changes from difficulty to difficulty. But I believe in classic mode, the time limit given to you is that of the original PS1 release. So the objective of these arena-like challenges is to best find a path to collect all the crystals before time runs out. Which, depending on the arena, is a lot easier said than done. Especially if you miss a lot of them like me. Another thing I will mention here is one thing you're really going to get used to doing quite often is what is known as a quick hop turn. I don't know the exact name of the technique. Oh, God damn it. Missed it again. Okay. This won't be the worst thing ever. God damn it, I went too fast. Okay. Still got 15 seconds left. Now, where's that last crystal? Well then, that sucks. Damn it. I don't even know where it is. Oh, that sucks. Oh well. Well, anyway, if you manage to finish a race or even a little challenge like this and you lose, you'll still get some Wumpa coins as more like a consolation prize for just participating and playing, but you won't get as many Wumpa coins for just outright winning or finishing, or more or less finishing the objective and winning, of course. Just saying. Okay. When it comes to this particular challenge, I think you're given a fairly decent amount of time to find all the crystals, which is pretty nice. Oh my god. How did I miss this? Seriously, how? Oh my god. It seriously dropped my goddamn input. I cannot believe that worked. I thought for sure I ran out of time. Well, I'll gladly take it. Pretty sweet. Second try. Hell yeah. I gotta say, memorizing where all the crystals are is a bit of a challenge within itself. I mean, granted, I know this was a fairly easy task, kind of, for this particular arena, but as we progress and get into more hub areas and unlock these additional challenges, the challenges will become increasingly difficult as the time limit will become more and more strict. So that's something to keep in mind. Not only this, but additional obstacles will be added as well. How stale? I didn't say anything about something being stale.
The more Wumpa fruit you collect, the faster your cart will go. If you collect and hold 10 Wumpa fruits, you'll be juiced up and your power-up will become more potent.
Okay. So anyway, now that that's done, let's proceed onward to the next activity. If you return to any of these courses, you'll be able to take on one of two challenges here. We can have the CTR challenge and the relic races. I will be going after both of these, but for now, we're going to focus on the CTR challenges and come back for the relics later on in the game, like after we finish it. And I'll explain why that is momentarily. For now, on to the CTR challenge.
Collect the letters C, T, and R on each track and come in first place to win a CTR token. Beware, some letters are hard to find.
What's hilarious is that Uka Uka is definitely right when it comes to that. Aku Aku is also, he also says the same thing, so, again, something worth mentioning. Finding these tokens and coming in first place is kind of the Crash Bandicoot equivalent of the Silver Coin Challenge from Diddy Kong Racing. Although you don't have to collect as many things in order to win, you just have to collect all 3 of the letters and then win the race, which, again, is a lot easier said than done on many tracks, this track included, which is kind of odd, but alas, it is what it is. So one thing you could do is intentionally throw the race and go searching for the tokens. Once you find the tokens and memorize exactly where they are, then you'll be able to plan a crash course. Crash course. As I was saying, you can plan a plan of attack to get all the tokens. Which, again, that is a lot easier said than done, considering you not only have to get all 3 tokens, but you also have to win. If you don't win the race, or if you don't get all 3 tokens after a win, then it doesn't count. And some of these tokens can be really, really annoying to get to, like this one. Okay. Now that we have all 3 tokens, all we need to do now is just win this frickin' race. If I'm being frank here, it really is wise to try to collect all 3 tokens either on your first or second lap. Lap 2 at the absolute minimum, if possible. Screw you, Polar. Don't be bipolar on me now. Seriously. Oh, what a bad joke. I'm honestly surprised I did not hit that potion. There we go. First CTR token is ours. By the way, when it comes to this game on the PS4, it does have a list of trophies. And I have not gotten all the trophies in this game because a lot of them involve online play and completing some really ridiculous tasks. But even so, I've gotten roughly 60% of them, which is pretty decent. And I'll definitely show off the trophy list at the end of this playthrough. But I'm definitely not going after all the trophies, like all the PlayStation 4 trophies. I refuse. That would take far too long. Game? There we go. I thought it crashed for a minute there. But nah, it was just taking a while to load.
To get around a tight turn or to face a direction quickly, use the brake slide by pressing and holding the brake button while turning hard.
Whoops, did not mean to do that. Dang it! I did not mean to return to this course. But if you accidentally entered the wrong course or selected the wrong thing, all you would have to do is just simply go into the pause menu and just select exit. Once you do, you'll just leave the course like nothing happened. And another thing worth mentioning too is that when it comes to races, time trials, and like, you are able to, technically speaking, restart the races and stuff of that nature. Doing so will forfeit any Wumpa coins that you may get for that particular run, but it does give you another chance to restart the course and just go at it faster and better. Yeah, I'm definitely not competitive when it comes to kart racing games. That's for sure. Especially games like this. And I hear on the grapevine that playing this on PlayStation 5 is... it's a bit of a broken mess, from what I hear. At least in the online aspect. But then again, who knows if that's absolutely true or not. It's just from what I've heard over the grapevine. Another thing worth pointing out too is, shoot. What was I gonna say? I honestly cannot remember now. Oops. Alright, let's head back into another course and grab another CTR token. Now, shall we? Alright. If I recall correctly, this is also another fairly difficult course to get all the CTR tokens in. Although the load times do take quite a while. Almost on the levels of Sonic 06 loading into Kingdom Valley, kind of long. Oh yeah. I remember this particular course being a frickin' manie when it comes to grabbing the tokens. It's very easy to either undershoot or overshoot the frickin' jumps to grab the tokens. And let me tell you folks, it's not exactly easy grabbing these frickin' tokens on this course. Especially the ones that are in the air. I guess another thing worth mentioning here is a nice benefit when it comes to going after these tokens is it does teach you some of the game's more obvious shortcuts, which is pretty cool. Like the one in the dirt from earlier that I took before. Granted, I wasn't really going at optimal speeds. But if you manage to boost your way through, you can get a fairly decently fast lap out of it, so that's pretty nice.
Yes.
Okay. There we go. Another win. How you like that? Excuse me. I will say this. The first hub area and its levels are easy enough to get all the CTR tokens and the trophies on. But when it comes to the relic races, oh boy, let me tell you. When it comes to getting the frickin' relics, they're an entirely different beast. In order to get 101%, when it comes to the relics, Sapphire is not enough. You need to get Gold Relic, a Gold Relic or a Platinum Relic in order to boost that completion rating up from 100% to 101%. So that's something else worth mentioning right there. And like I said, I am going to be saving the time trial relics for later on the playthrough, like towards the end.
Anytime turbo from jumping. The longer you're in the air, the bigger the boost you'll get when you land. For a bigger boost, get extra air by hopping off jumps using the hop button.
It's cool that you managed to get a Switch Lite, Eddie. Or Edney. Apologies if I butchered the pronunciation of your name, but regardless, glad you got a Switch Lite. But, yeah, as Jomar was saying, you won't be able to use GameCube controllers or any sort of accessories like that with a Switch Lite, unfortunately. Because the GameCube adapter has a USB Type-A connector, and the Switch Lite has a USB Type-C connector. So, unfortunately, that won't really work. But even so, you can still pair up Bluetooth controllers like the Switch Pro controller and be able to play the game like that if you so wish. But, again, it's entirely up to you. Oh dear. Alright, on to Sewer Speedway. This is going to be a really fun course, I say as I miss the first token. I don't remember for sure, but I feel like one of the tokens is within that one shortcut. Oh, damn. You seriously couldn't just leave me alone, huh? Okay. Okay, never mind. I thought the token was elsewhere. Thankfully, it's not anywhere too substantial. But there is still the one token that I missed earlier on. Which, getting that one is going to be a little bit of a pain, considering that we have to get it at a bit of a weird angle. There we go. Yeah, not gonna try to jump. I got nerfed mid-air. That's dumb. That was badly timed. But for some strange reason, I guess I didn't lose any Wumpa Fruit after I got hit. So as you can see, the rocket power-up, what that will do is that it will home in onto a single target. And I believe after you get all 10 Wumpa Fruit, then you'll be able to get 2 additional shots, giving you a total of 3 shots. Able to take out 3 separate racers all at once. Whew! There we go, finally nailed the shortcut. Let me tell you folks, getting up here is not easy. And if you want to get like the Gold Relic or the Platinum Relic in this course, sweet Jesus, you have to nail that shortcut just about every single lap. So that's something worth mentioning. There we go, all done with that one. So, I guess another thing I will mention here is when it comes to my honest opinion on this game, I did not play this game at launch. In fact, I got into this game about a year after the game was originally released. As I mentioned previously, I did receive this game as a Christmas present. Yeah, a Christmas present. I can't remember if it was like a year ago or 2 years ago. Regardless, it's been quite a while. And the reason why I chose to play through this game here today, it was kind of on a whim, and it was decided like a few weeks ago. When I was doing my business, if you know what I mean. in my laboratory. Oh boy. Okay, moving on. Let's take on another course now, shall we? Also, you may be wondering, what the heck is that giant monitor? Well, that monitor, if you drive up to it, you'll be able to save your progress manually. What's really cool about the remake of this game is that it features an autosave, and it has its own dedicated save file. Although it is a good idea to save manually fairly often. Man, I haven't played Smash Ultimate in a long time, but I do know that my main in that game was Link. Alright, on to the next course. Once it finishes loading after taking like 2 million years. Wow, nice jump. Way to miss the token. Well, whatever, no big deal. Still got time yet to get the other tokens. Speaking of the other tokens, where the hell are they? Okay, here's the T. Alright. Now I gotta grab the R. And... of course I missed the R. R! I am not very happy right now. By the way, missing a token on the third and final lap, your race is pretty much forfeit at that point. Okay, there's the C. What's kind of interesting is that that particular token is really difficult to see. And sometimes you may not even see it at all, depending on the lighting condition. So that's something to keep in mind. Sometimes the tokens love to hang out in, like, brightly lit areas. There we go. Nice fail on the turbo. I'll say this as well, when it comes to this game, the hitboxes are rather ridiculous. Sometimes the hitboxes are ridiculously huge for whatever reason. Perhaps the reason why they made it this way is a design choice, just due to some carts being bigger than others, especially for Nitro-Fueled's new carts and everything. But if you're playing through the adventure mode, you won't have to worry about larger carts or anything like that. It's just the standard carts that were a part of the original game. So that's something to keep in mind. And I think that's another reason, too, why I prefer classic difficulty over the Nitro-Fueled mode. But that's just me. Maybe I will at some point down the road. It's kind of funny seeing Cortex right in between both Pura and Polar right there. You never know what they're actually going to do. Am I right? Okay. So at this point, we've managed to collect all of the CTR tokens, but we've not collected any of the relics yet. But I will be collecting them.
This is the load save screen. There are 5 of these screens, one in each world section. When you want to load or save a game, go to one of these screens. To access it, drive up to the screen and follow the directions.
Easy enough. So, what's pretty cool here is that whatever save file you selected, the autosave takes priority over that save file. And of course, you can save manually. And what's really nice is that your current save file that you're currently working on is labeled current. So, if you choose to save over that file, you can do so pretty easily. I think another thing I've just noticed as well is if you're playing the adventure mode on Classic and you see a Nitro-Fueled save file, the profile picture will change to, I believe, Crash Bandicoot by default if you're selecting a character that's not of the initial 8. I can't say if that's absolutely true, but I think that is the case. So that's something to keep in mind. Another thing worth pointing out too is in Nitro-Fueled, there is... neat, let's check this out.
You must first collect the required number of relics to race this track.
Okay, back to what I was saying though. When it comes to these particular portals right here, you do have to get relics and you also have to get gems. Both of these will be gathered like towards the end of this playthrough, like once we finish the main campaign and get the game's first ending. Yes, there are 2 endings that you can get in this game. There's of course the normal ending for just finishing the game, and there's also a true ending that you can get here. And in order to get the true ending, you do have to complete the game, I believe, 101%. I could be wrong. Maybe it's 100% you get the true ending, but even so, it is something worth bringing up regardless. I thought I was in the middle of saying something else. Now I can't quite remember what that is. Well, whatever. Let's just move on to a different topic, I guess. So, one thing I will mention here is you may notice that this particular stream's title has exclamation point PS5 on it. Of course, that's not going to be applied to the YouTube version of the title, but for the streams, the reason why I have that particular title there is because I am looking to get a PlayStation 5 in the near future. Unfortunately, I can't exactly go and acquire one right now due to the fact that, 1, they're harder to find than frickin' Bigfoot and a unicorn. Not only that, but I also don't exactly have the funds to spare when it comes to getting the console. I really, really do want to get the console, for sure. So, one thing I haven't really mentioned yet is that the bomb power-up, what that will do is you can roll it either forwards or backwards, and I can't tell for sure, but I think if you get the upgraded bombs from obtaining all 10 Wumpa Fruit, the bomb has like a remote detonator, which you can push the circle button to fire the bomb and then push circle again to detonate it. Then again, maybe that's available in the regular bomb as well? Sometimes you can also get 3 bombs as a power-up, so that's something to keep in mind. Although getting a power-up like that doesn't come around very often. Another thing worth mentioning as well is, I believe depending on your position, you might get better items if you're like in last place. And sometimes when it comes to some of the lesser grade items, you'll get multiples of them. Like the bombs, for example. You might get like 3 bombs as opposed to like 1 bomb. I could be wrong. But even so, I have seen that you can get up to 3 bombs. But most of the time when you get a bomb power up, you only get 1. So that's something to keep in mind. So another thing worth mentioning here is that you may have noticed that I've unlocked a couple of cosmetic skins for Cortex. Well, since I've started this playthrough on Classic difficulty for Cortex, I can't select the new cosmetics at all. Not unless I play a different mode or switch to a new file and play through the game in the Nitro-Fueled mode. Which, of course, I'm not going to do that. That's just kind of unnecessary.
Congratulations! You win a trophy!
So, when it comes to difficulty comparisons, in my mind, Classic difficulty is a mixture between easy and normal difficulty throughout several of the early game hubs. In fact, I think that's the way it is for all the hubs in general. I believe the difficulty selection is just made for, like, easing players in. It depends on the difficulty you choose to select. There's also a PS4 trophy that you can earn by playing through the entire game and just beating it on hard mode. Which, really, you don't have to get 100% for to get that trophy. At least I think that's the case. Though I could be wrong. But even so long as you complete the game, then I believe you are awarded that trophy. I don't know that for sure, as I never found out. Well, that definitely hurt quite a bit. Wow, I am honestly surprised that worked. One more thing worth mentioning here is when you take certain shortcuts in this game on certain courses, you will earn a trophy for taking that shortcut in the first place. Although I think the trophy will only appear in Adventure mode, where you're playing on Classic or the Nitro-Fueled mode. Regardless, it is something worth mentioning. Oh dear. Okay, that works. Gotcha! I knew I should have fired that behind. Seriously, game, what the hell? It's like everyone has rockets today. And super accurate bombs. It's like frickin' turtle shell mania from Mario Kart. Red shells, blue shells, green shells that have homing capabilities. You know, it's one of those days. Screw you. I am not letting you hit me again. Not now. One more thing worth mentioning here is that you do have to win these races in order for the actual race to count. If you get like second place or top 3, it doesn't work. By the way, in order to open that shortcut, you do need a power-up like a rocket or a bomb and knock the door open. Once the door is knocked open, then you can take that shortcut. It does save a fairly decent amount of time on the track overall, so that's something to keep in mind.
I'm the superior one.
Okay. That was definitely a pretty rough race, not gonna lie, but really, it's not that bad. It really isn't. The fun is only just beginning. When it comes to the length of this game, in all honesty, the game is not that long, as when you're playing through adventure mode, you will be playing through the original game's courses. What's really cool about Nitro-Fueled in general is that it not only includes all of the original game's tracks, but also all of the tracks from Crash Team Racing Nitro-Kart. And throughout the course of this game's original lifespan, it also added in some new DLC tracks. Many of them taking place within the world of Spyro, which is really cool. I haven't actually raced on these tracks at all yet, so they're going to be brand new experiences when I show them off at some point. It's going to be fun. Now on to one of the more fun courses of the game, Papu's Pyramid. If you play this course well, you can really break this course in half. I'm serious. I feel as though Papu's Pyramid is one of the best tracks in the game, mainly due to the fact that it has so many frickin' shortcuts, it's not even funny. It really, really does. These shortcuts range from small little time saves to ones where you cut roughly 5% of the track. One thing worth mentioning here is that this course's obstacles are piranha plants, I will say. Damn it. Okay. Note to self, I do need to be boosting in order to take that particular shortcut. What are the odds? Well, that sucked. Damn it! I really gotta stop trying to take these screw it, restart. That was just pure embarrassment. Ignore that race. That was just garbage. Oh, man. Seriously, I hate these stupid plants. You never really know exactly when they're going to do that. Although, it is purely position-based when it comes to them. Depending on their position, they may, they'll either be docile or they'll be hostile. It depends on how they're feeling that day. And whether or not they're off of their medications. Oh, that was poorly timed. One thing worth mentioning here is that the rockets cannot be fired from behind. And they also have a very limited lock-on range. If an opponent is like at point-blank range on you, then the rockets will not home in on them at all. Woo! Man, that feels good to pull off that particular shortcut. Very tricky. Requires a lot of speed and precision and also lots of practice. I thought for sure I was gonna get shoved into a frickin' green pipe again. How'd that work? Don't ask. Just don't. This game's physics are weird. Man, that feels good. Again, Papu's Pyramid is definitely one of my favorite tracks in this game. Is it my absolute favorite, though? I have to say yes. Yeah, it really is my favorite track, just because of the amount of shortcut opportunities that are there, and the difficulty on the track itself is fairly balanced. There are, of course, the annoying piranha plant things that love to chow on you and just ruin your frickin' day, but really, it's one of the most rewarding tracks in the entire game, especially if you know how to break it like a frickin' twig.
Congratulations! You win a trophy!
Okay. Next course, here we come. What do we got? Dingo Canyon. Funny enough, when I was a kid and I played Crash Team Racing, I remember playing a demo disc that contained Dingo Canyon as well as Papu's Pyramid as two courses in the demo. And funny enough, when it comes to the actual game itself, I do own the original PlayStation 1 version of the game on PS3 via a digital copy. Speaking of PS3, thank God the DSN store is not shutting down on that console or the Vita, so that's pretty damn sweet. I mean, it's still kind of shutting down on PSP, but I don't own a PSP, so I don't really care too much about that. But still, it is nice to see that the PlayStation 3 store is going to remain open for quite a bit longer. How much longer, though, remains to be seen. Perhaps it'll remain open until Sony finds a way to implement some form of backwards compatibility with PS3 titles other than PlayStation Now through PlayStation 5 or something. Well, that was just garbage. I didn't even see you there, buddy. When it comes to this particular course, this course doesn't really have any sort of real shortcuts per se, but it does have a fairly decent number of corners that you can cut if you know what you're doing. Plus it also has a lot of jumps too. So this is also a pretty good course to go and practice your jumping skills. And it's also fairly wide as well. Not the widest course in the game, no, that goes to Coco Park. Coco Park is considered the easiest course in the entire game just because of how wide it is. There's no sharp turns whatsoever when it came to that particular course. This one, it doesn't really have too many sharp turns either. So, overall, pretty easy course.
The superior one.
Nice. By the way, if you're wondering when I'll cash in my Wumpa coins, I tend to do that at the end of my play sessions to see what I can possibly buy. I do try to prioritize buying characters if possible. And the reason for that is quite simple. More characters means more fun to play with. More people to play with, and it's always a fun time. So, yeah. I'll definitely be showing off the in-game store at a later date and time. Mainly, it'll be happening after the adventure mode part of this playthrough is done. By the way, one thing I haven't mentioned yet, I guess I'll get into in a minute.
Papu much tired of watching puny slugs race so slow. Papu wanting action to lay Boom down big and prove Papu is world's best driver. Papu moves so fast, you munch tracks.
One other thing I really love about the remake and the boss interactions is that the boss interactions, sure, the lines are the same, but the cutscenes themselves are redone to, instead of them just sitting in the cart taunting you, they actually have a proper entrance and, you know, show off their wacky side, if you know what I mean. The same held true for Ripperoo as well. So, again, pretty nice quality of life improvement. It's just perfect. Okay, I'll stop now. So, on to Papu Papu. He's a belly. He's a stereotype. He's also a pretty bad boss. But not in this game. He actually does put up a heck of a fight. As far as his gimmick is concerned, I really do not know what his gimmick is when it comes to power-ups. I think he lays down potions endlessly, kind of like how Ripperoo ended up putting out a bunch of TNTs endlessly. And I think the potions of which he throws out are the green variety. And I think some red ones in as well. I can't remember for sure. Thankfully, the items of which the bosses throw at you, they don't stick around for the entire race. Not like regular TNTs tend to do during the regular races. When it comes to the items themselves, I think they'll only last for roughly 10 to 15 seconds. So, that's pretty cool. And like I said, once you get in front of the boss and you're able to maintain your lead, the race is pretty much yours. Especially if you know how to drift properly, not like me, who loves to bump their rear tire all the time and lose their frickin' boost 24/7. Yeah, if you couldn't tell, I am not the best when it comes to this game. I'll say this as well. I feel as though if you make one mistake in these boss races, you almost are guaranteed to lose. Yeah, see? See what I mean? God damn it.
This was just an experiment.
Experiment, sure, whatever you say, Cortex, whatever you say. But like I said, you make one mistake during these boss races, you're pretty much done.
Trophy's mine!
Really? That didn't work? When it comes to some of these boss races, sometimes it's not really wise to take any major risks or shortcuts, especially when you have a strong lead. Otherwise, yeah, you're pretty much SOL. Damn it! Fuck it, restart. I hate those stupid plants.
Out of my way!
God damn it. Waited too long. Okay, so I believe what the red potions do is if you run into them, you're not necessarily screwed, no. What happens is your top speed is temporarily decreased. I swear to God, it just seems like if the boss ends up getting in front of you at any point, you're guaranteed to lose. There we go. Got his ass. One thing I will mention when it comes to these races is, thankfully, the bosses do not spam their items, their gimmick items, until about 15 seconds after the race starts. Son of a bitch, I shouldn't have done that. Another thing worth mentioning too is some items, like the bombs, for example, you could use them as a means of an extension of yourself. So if you see a power-up box right in front of you, depending on how well your aim is, you could hit the item box and just grab an item from a distance, which is pretty neat. Pretty neat. Okay, no risky jump here. Let's just take this like normal and we'll be fine. Okay, okay. Here we go. Whew, that took a little longer than I would have liked, but at least the deed is done.
Papu not himself today. Maybe Papu not eating a big breakfast. You are fast for being so small. Here's key to help. Oxide much bigger problem for you. Him not as big, but him much more grumpy.
I have to agree with him there, that's for sure. But still, that was kind of gross how we just ate that donut off the key. Who knows where the hell that key has been? In fact, I think he even pulled that directly underneath of his belly fat, which... Ugh. Damn. Now that's what I call disgusting. But, even so, this is we're talking about cartoon logic here, where logic simply does not exist. Okay, cool. Glad to see that another area has opened up. By the way, in order to go in reverse, what you have to do is just hold down on the analog stick and you'll start to go backwards. I don't know why that the reverse function is assigned to like back on the analog stick. Alright, thanks for stopping by, Jamar. Hope to see you again soon. Okay. Okay. When it comes to this particular challenge, this one can be a bit of a pain. Not only do you have to navigate around to grab all the crystals in time, and let me tell you, the time limit is rather strict for something like this. Even so, not only do you have to find all the crystals, which are really scattered around and about, but you also have to avoid any and all TNT. If you hit one, you could bounce it off if you're lucky enough, but if you happen to hit another TNT crate while you're trying to get the one off of you, you will still explode anyway. So, and by the way, exploding usually means instant loss. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay. God damn it.
This was just an experiment.
Well, that sucked. All because I hit the wall at the very end. So, one other thing worth noting here is There we go. Yay, we didn't explode this time. Don't worry, I'm not TNT, I'm not Dynamite, and I'm not gonna win the fight easily. Oh, for Pete's sake, man. How did I miss that frickin' crystal? Another thing worth mentioning here is these crystals have really, really small hitboxes. See what I mean? That should have hit, yet it didn't hit, so what the hell? How? How did I miss? How? Okay. So another thing worth mentioning here is that you are going to be using the brake an awful lot when it comes to these crystal gathering challenges for sure. I don't even. Again, should have hit, yet it didn't. No hit. Now I quit. Kidding. Honestly, when it comes to this particular place and gathering the crystals here, the brake is going to be a more useful function than the jump. So that's something to keep in mind. Also, the power-up I believe that you get for these is course dependent. Oh, for Pete's sake. In the last Crystal Arena course that we went to, the power-up there was a turbo, so that's pretty cool, I guess. It's there for those who need to make a really long jump. And as far as this arena is concerned, the power-ups here are bombs. Well, that sucked. Okay. Done and done. Whew. That took a little longer than I would have liked. But there we go. Another CTR token is ours. That was a pretty hard one, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes you're gonna be doing these challenges multiple times in order to secure the W. But once you do, it really feels good. Especially once you get a route figured out and memorized to a frickin' T. Another thing worth mentioning too is that that particular hub area's crystal challenge has some really tricky place. I don't even know what the word is, but let's just say dickishly placed crystals. Places of which you wouldn't even think to look, and places of which are incredibly well hidden and hard to see. So that's always fun. Not being able to find the damn crystals and crap. Let me tell you, not a fun time. Yeah, that's the thing. When it comes to the shield power-up, it can be used both defensively as well as offensively. What it does is that its primary function is to defend yourself. It's able to absorb one attack and only one attack. That includes the standard variant as well as the blue upgraded variant. But you can also fire the shield forward and hit your opponent with it. If you're successful, you'll be able to make them spin out for quite a while. And I'm not sure if there's much of a strength difference between the two, but I think the blue one has a bigger blast radius. So it's more generous when it comes to aiming it. So that's pretty nice, I guess. Seriously, screw you, game. Ah, damn it. Well, looks like I won't be able to collect very many CTR tokens on this lap. Speaking of tokens, here's one that's really badly placed. And somehow I missed it anyway. Good job. Seriously, screw this game. Again, sometimes the difficulty can be a bit unfair, but we'll power through it. We always have. Or at least I have. No matter how many times it takes. Obviously, the further we go, the more difficult our adventure will become. One more thing worth mentioning too is that sometimes, depending on the route that you have to take to get these tokens, you might not be able to get all the tokens on one lap, so that's something to keep in mind. Sometimes you'll have to dedicate like one token per lap, but it's purely track dependent. I'm surprised that worked. I thought I was screwed for sure. One really fun thing you can do is, if you're skilled enough to maintain a whole bunch of boosts, like all in a row, and you're able to go fast enough, you might be able to lap some of your opponents. And let me tell you, the feeling of doing something like that is pretty damn sweet. There's one more technique that I haven't really gone over yet, and that is, while in the air, if you need to make a very sharp turn while in the air, release the accelerator and start holding down the brake button. This will give you some additional control while in the air, so you're able to make much tighter turns while jumping. Although this really only applies to really high jumps, so that's something to keep in mind. But I will say this, doing that particular technique is a very big lifesaver, especially when it comes to future courses, where it's almost required in some cases. I'm just saying. Man, we've only been going for an hour and 48 minutes. It's kind of surprising to see. It feels like I've been playing for at least 2 hours, or almost close to 3, but not quite yet. We might be able to get up to the third hub area finished completely. Well, completely in the loosest term possible, but I'm just saying we might be able to finish not only this hub area, but also the next one too, by the end of this session. We'll have to wait and see how things play out. Also, I believe the breaker power-up that this hint is referring to is the bomb. I don't know why it's called a breaker. I guess it breaks people when it hits them? Maybe? But all power-ups do that, don't they? Naming conventions in Crash Bandicoot just makes no sense sometimes, I swear. Okay. Can we get on with this, please? Wow, that was bad. Anywho, the CTR tokens on this track thankfully aren't anything too crazy or anything like that. Some of them are fairly well hidden, like I believe the next token that we're going to be getting is around here? Yeah, there it is. Yeah, that is a very well hidden T token. And as far as the R token is concerned, that is pretty difficult to get your hands on and stay on the course. That's an instance definitely where you're going to be needing to execute the quick turn jumping technique while you're in the air. Otherwise, you're going to be falling with style for quite some time, and that's not fun for anyone. Especially when you're really far behind and you need to make a major comeback like ASAP. By the way, I believe the upgraded turbo power-up lasts longer than the standard turbo. It lasts for roughly 10 seconds as opposed to like 3. And also, I just completely wasted that turbo. Good job. Also, I'm pretty sure that you cannot get the turbo power-up on while you're in first place. So that's something to keep in mind. Gotta love losing the run to RNG, dude. I mean, second place isn't too bad, but still, definitely not enough. Let's move on, please, so we can try this stupid crap again, okay? Okay. One thing that's really annoying during the CTR token race is if you manage to get all the tokens, you have to wait for each and every token to appear. Then and only then can you just proceed forward, which is really, really dumb. Hello there! That is awesome. I love the invincibility power-up. And again, the invincibility power-up is masked or alignment specific. So, depending on the character, you might get the Uka Uka or Aku Aku. Depends on the character and their alignment. Oh, come on, seriously? Stupid armadillo. I also love running into absolutely everything on the course, just because I keep getting blown up. One more thing worth mentioning too is when it comes to the shield power-up, I believe if you activate it and then run into someone with it, then it acts as if you fired the weapon or the shield in the first place. So, again, pretty neat if you feel like messing with your opponents. I'm surprised both of those guys blew each other up. I guess they were close enough to do so, but even so, that is pretty neat, and it works to my advantage. Hell yeah. I'll take it. Stupid armadillo, I swear. Well, whatever. At least the race is finally won this time. Jesus. That was a bit of a pain. But not the worst thing ever, trust me. The worst thing ever, honestly, is just playing through this game on hard mode. Ugh, Jesus. I mean, seriously, hard mode opponents in this game is like the Dark Souls of kart racers. I'm dead frickin' serious. And this is coming from experience. I'm just saying. If you're gonna play through this game, don't play it on hard mode. If you're gonna use the Nitro-Fueled mode for your adventure playthrough, do it on either normal or easy mode. Honestly, normal mode would probably be your best bet. Just because the challenge is still there, but not as extreme as hard mode. And classic is, well, classic. Like a PlayStation classic, lol. No. But even so, I'm just saying. Okay, on to the next one. Let's grab ourselves another frickin' CTR token now, shall we? And hopefully this time we'll be able to win it in our first attempt. And not get completely bombed to next Tuesday. I mean, granted, I know we're playing as Cortex and he kind of deserves to be bombed like no other. But even so, I'm just saying. We're playing as the evil scientist for a reason. We gotta blow shit up. We gotta experiment until something works. Boy. Okay, there's the T token. That one is pretty badly placed. But thankfully not the worst. Also, I'm not too sure, but I think the potions could also open the door in this course. Let's try it. Well, you know, it did work. And I missed the token anyway. Good job. Damn it. God, I hate that. Okay, let's actually get the R token this time. Okay. So that's pretty interesting. The shortcut door doesn't stay open for the entire race like I initially thought. It only stays open for a limited time. I'm not sure how long it is exactly, but it's way more than enough time to get yourself inside of the shortcut. Well, I will say this. This was definitely one of the easier tracks to get the CTR tokens on. At least they were out in the open, which is pretty sweet. I mean, sure, the T token was kind of a pain due to the fact that it was in the grass. But, even so, not the worst placed tokens by far. Just saying. Excuse me. So, shoot. I'm not exactly sure what I can talk about right now. I guess some of you may be wondering when it is I'll be running Banjo-Tooie. And to answer your question, I'm still working on studying up the current route, or more or less studying up Nade the Great's route when it comes to any percent no DCW. Not only this, but I also have to practice the route a bit more, because some of the tricks are pretty damn ridiculous. And also really precise. Of course, I am still technically considered a beginner when it comes to Banjo-Tooie. But, like I said, I still need to study the route, memorize everything that I need to grab, what I need to collect, when, and also just master whatever it is I need to do. And let me tell you folks, it's a lot of work. Considering that Banjo-Tooie is a much longer game than that of Banjo-Kazooie, it really is something else. And that's not including regular any percent. Sweet Jesus, no. With the introduction of bit clips with any percent, oh my god, it is so ridiculously hard from what I've noticed from TG and when he runs Banjo-Tooie, any percent. I think he's the world record holder for just about every single category for Banjo-Tooie. Okay. Well, I saw that one coming. Let's go for a swim. By the way, one thing I haven't mentioned yet is that if you happen to fall off the course, there is a chance that you could give yourself a little bit of a speed boost. Speaking of speed boosts, when you have a mask power-up, you're not only invincible, but if you happen to have 10 Wumpa Fruit on you, then the mask lasts a lot longer versus not having all 10 Wumpa Fruit. I think the mask only lasts about 7 seconds normally, and for the upgraded version, it lasts roughly double the time at roughly 15 seconds. I didn't really measure the amount of time, but even so, it lasts a lot longer versus the standard mask. Now that's what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we call progress. Nice to see. By the way, if you're wondering what tokens and other collectibles you've gotten, one way to figure out which ones you've collected and which ones you haven't collected yet, pull up the pause menu and you'll be able to view all the courses that are within that particular hub area. There you'll be able to view whether or not you got the trophy, the CTR token, and also that race's relic. So, that is a pretty handy way to check on all the stuff that you collected up to this point. So I guess with that in mind, let's get ready to head on off to the third area. It's ice, ice, baby. Oh lord, that was awful. Hello, Rain. Welcome to the stream. Glad you can make it. Okay, looks like we gotten everything we needed for now. Other than, of course, the token itself. I mean, the relic itself, I mean. Okay. On to the next track. Funny enough, it's true. I am playing the game on classic mode. Classic adventure mode. So, nothing too extreme is going to be happening here. Just saying. I do not feel like pulling my hair out and then ripping my frickin' scrotum in half today. Believe me, if I've already done that with my face earlier this morning. And when I say that, I mean I accidentally nicked my face when I shaved off my beard. So when it comes to this particular course, this is a really, really quote-unquote fun course to Platinum because of this frickin' jump right here. as I phase through the rock and go back into existence. Okay. How did that work? I'm not going to question it. We're moving on. Funny enough, getting the trophy for that particular shortcut is one of the harder trophies to get. And even if you nail the jump correctly, sometimes you're not awarded the trophy anyway, just because it sees that you didn't do it right. Like that jump I got with that turn, it was rather scuffed, but even so. Honestly, that particular shortcut, for what it's worth, it really isn't worth much in my opinion. It's just not worth taking during the standard races. But during the relic time trial races, you're gonna have to take it at least once. And if you're going for the Platinum Relics, oh sweet Jesus, you have to take it on all 3 laps. And it is definitely one of the hardest things that you can do in this game, period. Because a lot of times, even if you do nail the shortcut right, your jump height gets nerfed for no reason. Whew, neat. Wow, all shortcuts are a must. Interesting. Also, I never realized there was a 102% completion of this game. The most I've gotten is 101%. I think 102% comes from the Platinum Relics, while the 101% gets added to your total after getting all the Gold Relics. So, yeah, I'm not exactly a master of this game, and I'm not insane enough to try to go after the Platinum Relics. For me, Gold is good enough for me.
Congratulations! You win a trophy!
Okay. Moving on to the next track. Thankfully, the remaining tracks around this hub area are not anywhere near as difficult. But they are still quite a pain. I can't even imagine what 102% is like when it comes to speedrunning this game. I'd have to check one out sometime. Perhaps it's one of the longest things that you can do. Who knows? I have no idea. Yes, that's true. When it comes to the relic races, in order to get the platinums, you do have to do just about everything perfectly. And on certain tracks, that is a lot easier said than done. By the way, as far as what the time power-up does, I think it creates a shockwave around the entire course. Or, no, not around the entire course, but around a certain perimeter of your character. And whoever is around your character within close proximity, they will be temporarily slowed down. So, that is... Overall, the time power-up is a useful power-up, yes, but it's really only useful at close range, and that's about it. There is a shortcut technically in here, but taking it honestly is not worth it. Just because you go so slow in the shortcut, and a lot of times you're just going to get squished by the frickin' minecarts around here. You're better off just cutting around the final turn just before the finish line. Of course, this is talking about the regular races. Relic races, oh dear, you will have to take the shortcut at some point. And this is what I mean. This shortcut is a pain in the ass. But it does cut out a fairly decent chunk of the track. So, in the end, I guess it is kind of worth it. But again, I feel as though you definitely need a turbo power-up in order to fully utilize the shortcut. Yep. Very true. I really don't know what the best way of tackling that shortcut is. I feel like if you don't want to get squished, you do have to be boosting, but to be boosting, you have to be turning, and the tunnel itself is really, really skinny, and you don't exactly have a whole lot of room to execute a boost, or multiple boosts for that matter. Just saying. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that works too.
Congratulations! You win a trophy!
One fairly annoying thing I really despise when it comes to this game is you can't do all three of the activities within any given track on your first go. You have to get all the trophies first and then defeat that hub area's boss, and then after that boss is defeated, then you can go back and go for the CTR tokens and the time trial relics. Oh man, definitely not a fun time, that's for sure. Oh right, I just realized something. I think the reason why we haven't been getting an overhead view of the courses is because there's an option that allows you to just skip that overhead and go straight to the race. So, yeah, it's really handy for time trials, but not for the regular races so much. If you know what I mean. But you get a basic idea, even if we do skip through it. So, in the end, no big deal. Man, I love it when I do that. And hit multiple racers with that power-up. Also, screw you, Long John Seal. This is also another really fun course to break into a million pieces if you know what you're doing. Although one thing worth mentioning here is that when it comes to the jumps, you can overshoot these jumps by going too fast. But it does have a very obvious shortcut that you can take right here. One other thing worth mentioning too is, as you've noticed throughout some of the tracks in this hub area, there are patches of ice. Driving over them means you're pretty much forfeiting any and all turning capabilities. You're just going to be sliding against the ice and you're at the ice's mercy until you get off of it. Excuse me. One other thing worth mentioning too is that this track is a fairly difficult one due to the amount of sharp turns that are here. Screw you, Seal. Kinda saw that one coming. There was definitely no avoiding that, unfortunately. One other thing worth mentioning too is that hitting the Wumpa Fruit crates, so long as you hit at least 2 of them, you're all but guaranteed to get your hands on 10 Wumpa Fruit relatively quickly. Although these crates are scattered a fairly good distance apart from each other throughout the entire course. So that's something to keep in mind. Oopsie. I hit the brake rather than L1. Nice job, me. Another thing worth mentioning too is I believe you can lay both TNTs and nitro crates in the air. I don't think they drop to the ground. So any player that's unfortunate enough to run over that or hit that while in the air, they're going down. Especially if you're put them over a frickin' pit. Yep, I have to agree with you there. Instant karma. Although we're not speedrunning this game. We're just doing a casual playthrough, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that race went relatively smooth. One of the smoothest races I've done. By the way, if you really want to get some good times on like the time trial relics and whatnot, you're definitely going to need a better built character, not necessarily built for balance, but more so built for speed, if anything else. Yep. Too true. Womp womp.
Congratulations! You win a trophy!
One other thing worth mentioning too is that you don't have to wait until the very end of the game to get your hands on all the relics, or even to participate in the relic races. You can go after them after you defeat that hub area's boss. But I'm choosing to wait until after I finish the main game of adventure mode before going after the time trial relics, because I want to show off the normal ending as well as the game's true ending. So that is my game plan. Besides, this will make things more interesting in the long run. Speaking of Ring Rally, according to this hint, I've never actually played that mode. I guess you could say I really missed out on some of the game's unique modes. Now, when it comes to this particular track, this is definitely one of my favorites for sure. Just because it really gives me vibes of Wario Stadium from Mario Kart 64. In fact, it's the same sort of theme going on here with the dirt rally kind of track design and all the dirt ramps scattered throughout the entire track and everything. This is a really fun track to really practice air boosting. Seriously, you can get some sick air and speed to boot if you happen to time your jumps just right off of these frickin' jumps. Take that, ass. The devil? Did someone just teleport right next to me, or am I going crazy? I'm not too sure, but I think there's a way you can break this track into a million pieces and cut out a huge portion of the track. But I was never successful in pulling something like that off. Then again, maybe that's a thing that only existed in the original PS1 version, and it was removed with the remake. I could be wrong. Like I said, this track is definitely one of my favorites, mainly due to the aesthetic, the feels, and just overall, this track is just a lot of fun to race on. What do you guys think of this track? Is this one of your favorites as well, or do you prefer a different track? Damn, that feels good! Being able to pull off a nice big fat drift boost to absolute perfection schlob, and then nailing a series of jumps afterwards, get some serious speed, and being able to do so without slowing down or stopping. It's definitely one of the best feelings that you can have when it comes to not only this track, but really any track in this game. That just goes to show how much you truly mastered the track. Of course, true mastery is only awarded to those who earn the Platinum Relic. And like I said, I do not have those kinds of skills. I wish I did. But alas, it is what it is. Oh, come on, seriously? There we go, all done here. Funny enough, this track is also one of the longest tracks in the game too, so that's something else worth mentioning. Interesting. I don't think I've heard of anything like that in this game. Then again, maybe I never dug deep enough to find out. All I really cared about when it came to this game was just playing through the game's adventure mode once again. And of course, the new tracks that are added to this game are purely a bonus. Plus, all the game's DLC was thankfully free. Just again, it requires a ton of grinding, or really deep pockets.
The most feared driver on this circuit. I'll earn the right to face Oxide by crushing you into brake dust. Let's race.
Sorry, Joe. Your ass is mine. Okay, that was probably the worst sort of comeback I've ever come up with in my life. Jeez. Oh. Okay. Now I get what you're saying. Now then, on to the Komodo Joe. This guy is going to be real fun to deal with. Just like with Ripperoo, he also farts out TNTs almost endlessly. And the track that you race him on is definitely one of the more difficult tracks to race on. For sure. Although, I will say this, I don't think the bosses are smart enough to take shortcuts, though I could be wrong in this regard. This is also another really difficult race to really nail down, especially if you're not confident when it comes to the shortcuts around here. And if you're like me, who cuts the turns way too sharply and loves rubbing against the wall like a frickin' cat. Damn it! Okay. Well, at least the game was nice enough to put me a little bit further into the track rather than putting me down at the very bottom of that spiral. Otherwise, that would have been freaking rip-a-rooney. Man, that stunk. But whatever, at least the race is done.
You're not so slow after all. Surprised me, you did. Here's a key for the win. Still, I think you're not fast enough to outrace Oxide. We're going to lose our planet, and it'll be all your fault.
Sheesh. You just got your ass beat and you have no confidence in me whatsoever. I mean, am I not worthy enough for you? Am I a joke to you? I mean, really, come on, dude. Whatever. He's just a stubborn asshat anyway. Right now we have some more important matters to take care of around here. That is, of course, getting all the CTR tokens. I just noticed one thing here, and that is we just unlocked the final hub, pretty much. No, seriously, that castle area is the last hub area in adventure mode, which is pretty cool. We might be able to finish this game today. By finish, I mean finish the main campaign. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see how things play out, though I highly doubt it. You never know. We'll see. Okay. This is going to be a fun one because, unlike the last challenge that had TNTs, this one has nitro crates. And if you run into one, oh dear, your ass is grass. Come on, how is it not a freaking head start? Well, whatever. These arena-type challenges you really don't want a head start on anyway, so it's really not that big of a deal. Ow. How did I miss that? Seriously, screw you, game. I seriously hate how small these hitboxes are on these frickin' crystals. See what I mean? Way too small of a hitbox. Also, if you couldn't tell, the power-up of this course are the bombs. The bombs obviously are used to clear out some of the more trickier nitro crate placements. God damn it. Well, we failed anyway, so might as well just go out in a blaze of glory.
This was just an experiment.
Man, that sucked. Moving on. Let's try this again now, shall we? God damn it, missed it again. Oh, come on, don't you dare fall backwards. So, seriously, judging the distance and just judging your angle absolutely perfectly to hit these damn crystals is like a frickin' science experiment. And no, I'm not trying to be funny here because I'm Neo-Cortex, but I'm just saying I'm being serious here. It's really difficult. God damn it! Wow. Man, that sucked. I seriously hate this course. Trying to memorize where all the frickin' crystals are within such a strict time limit, it's a pain. And, funny enough, the time limit is a lot more strict on hard mode. Let me tell ya. It was so frickin' hard in hard mode for the crystal gathering challenge that I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm not even gonna bother with these when playing on hard mode. The races themselves are hard enough as is. Just saying. Oh, Lord. Nice job jumping on top of the frickin' nitro crate, dude. That's just the best. Also, that was totally intentional. All part of the plan to clear out not only a few more nitro crates, but set up for another crystal grab. Well, better results, 19 out of 20, but still not even close to enough. Well, at least with these failures and finishing up the run, at least I am getting some more Wumpa coins to spend at the shop later. So I guess that's something. I seriously missed that? How? How did I miss that? One thing I really wish that Beenox did was made the crystal's hitboxes just a little bit bigger. Funny enough, Beenox is not really a company you don't hear too much about. They're typically a third-party Call of Duty developer or development studio, mainly in the support role. How the hell did I miss that? Fuck this game. But getting back to Beenox, they're mainly involved with providing support with like Raven Software for some of the more recent Call of Duty titles. And hell, they even handled some of the porting, or hell, they ported Call of Duty Black Ops 3 to Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 several years ago. And let me tell you folks, that port was just absolutely botched. Not that I've played it or anything like that, but from what I've seen and what I hear, it is definitely a botched port. But hey, you know what they say, you learn more from your defeats than your victories. And in the case of game development, you learn from mistakes of just bad port jobs, bad game design, you know, things like that. Done and done. Whew. Again, definitely not my fastest work, but one where I kind of cut it down to the frickin' wire. That's for sure. As far as Beenox's performance is concerned when it comes to them developing this game and just making it in general, they did a really damn good job taking their experiences that they've learned over the years and just creating an overall really high quality product. Just again, the whole Activision and shortcut shenanigans BS, that really shouldn't have been a thing. I mean, sure, I wouldn't have minded if they did just purely add the shortcut option as just that, an option. But to outright nerf the earn rate of the Wumpa coins as well as soon as that system was implemented, yeah, that is a big fat no-no. Bad Activision. Nerfing the currency is a big fat no-no. Oh boy. It's really something else, I tell ya. Now then, time to grab some more frickin' tokens. Okay. Hopefully I can remember exactly where these frickin' tokens are in this course. We'll see. As soon as we load in. Okay. I remember this course and the token placement here. It's really not the worst thing ever, but missing the tokens means you'll have to save that token for your next lap. And if you miss it too many times by either overshooting or undershooting the jump, oh man, it's just gonna be a really rough time. Yes. But again, at least the course itself is relatively long. And so you'll have more than enough opportunities to get the tokens you need. Take that! Man, that's so satisfying, being able to block a frickin' homing rocket with a frickin' potion. It's even more satisfying being able to do so with a bomb, which that is not easy, let me tell you. You not only have to time the bomb roll just right, but it also has to be at the right angle too. Alright. Hopefully we can get the frickin' T token this time. Nope, I overshot it again. God damn it! Well, I'll only have one more chance. At least for this particular attempt. And if we miss it next lap, oh dear. Looks like it's gonna be a big fat L and a reset for me. The problem with that particular token's placement is that you cannot jump super high. You also have to go fast as well, but not too fast that you overshoot the token. So it creates a bit of a conundrum. What the hell are you supposed to do about those tokens? It's like you jump too high, you miss. You go too fast, you miss. You go too low, you miss. You jump, you miss. You don't jump, you miss. What a paradox, am I right? I also love losing inputs for no reason. Alright. And that's an L. God damn it! Seriously, fuck that T token. There's also no turning around to get that token if you miss it on your third and final lap. There's just no way. See? Honestly, it's a better idea to try to nab it on your first lap if you can. And if you don't get it, restart the race. Because it takes far too long to try again, and it's a lot faster to just restart. There we go, finally. What a pain in the ass. Now we just gotta pray that everything else goes well. Because seriously, fuck that token. How did I miss that? Well, whatever. We still got 2 more laps to get that token, so we should still be okay. One other thing I will mention here is if you practice using the boost mechanic enough, you might get good enough that you don't even need a visual cue and you just go by purely timing. By that point, you should you should be able to nail a perfect turbo almost every single time. Not necessarily like me, as I still stumble and fail fairly often. Plus the timing on that is kind of difficult to figure out. Okay, at least we got it this time. Now we just gotta claim the big fat L and get that winner chicken dinner. And no, we're not racing as a chicken. Speaking of chicken, there is actually an unlockable chicken character that you can unlock in adventure mode, and it's only unlockable via adventure mode. Throughout certain parts of the adventure field, you might come across something rather mysterious. As far as what the requirements are, that's a good question. I can't quite remember what the requirements are off the top of my head, but even so, it's not necessarily required for 100% completion, but it is another character of which you can unlock. And another thing worth pointing out too is throughout different parts of the adventure mode's hub areas, you'll see just these floating giant golden chicken eggs that are just hanging around in the sky. They're really difficult to get to, but if you manage to get the eggs, then I believe you unlock another character. Then again, maybe they're a part of unlocking the chicken character I was talking about. I can't remember for sure, but I believe once you unlock it, then those eggs do not appear anymore, which that makes sense. And I believe this these eggs appear in both Classic Adventure Mode as well as the Nitro-Fueled Adventure Mode. So that's something to keep in mind. Well, we are getting kind of close to the 3-hour mark, and I think once we finish up this hub area, we should be roughly around there. So, I am going to try to finish up this hub area at the very least. And then set up for the next session for when we finish up the main campaign. Then go after the frickin' time trial relics. Oh Jesus, it's going to be fun. Alright, next course, here we come. Polar Pass. Oh, this is going to be another one of those fun courses. Why? Because I believe some of the CTR tokens are placed in some of the most infamous shortcuts in the entire course. And really, getting these damn tokens is a task within itself. It might be better to just grab the damn token and sacrifice yourself for it, if you want to even stand a chance of winning the race. I'm just saying. Seriously. I don't even know why these tokens are just placed in such awkward locations, but that is part of the challenge, just finding them. Oh no, that's not this course. I'm thinking of a different course altogether. Same hub, but even so. Polar Pass also has some fairly dickishly placed tokens, like right here. I say as I miss. Good job. Man, that's just pure embarrassment. And that's what I mean about overshooting your jumps and going too fast. I hate it when I do that. Oops. Well, whatever. We still got a chance to come back. I say as I completely fail. Good job. That's what I get for not boosting. Okay, maybe this time we'll be able to get the frickin' C token on our first lap, please. Thank you. God damn it. Okay. Funny enough, when it comes to the token placements, you might not necessarily be able to find all 3 tokens in the correct order. Sometimes the tokens are scattered in different parts of the course. So that's something to keep in mind. If I recall correctly, the final token on this course is placed around here. And I missed it. Just because I overshot the damn jump. And overshot the token. God damn, I hate those frickin' hitboxes on the seals, man. And really, just any and all obstacles in general. It may seem like that you'll clear the obstacle without any sort of problems whatsoever, but get too close and you get smacked, even though it was nowhere near you. Kinda dumb. How'd that work? You know what? I'm not gonna question it. I'm just gonna move on. Sometimes the game's physics decides to show you a little bit of mercy. I say as I get smacked by a seal once again. Seriously, screw those frickin' seals. Missed it again. Okay. For that one, I think I'm gonna try not jumping and maybe it'll work. Well, regardless, it's my last chance. Also, I'm not 100% sure, but I feel as though stage hazards, such as the seals and whatnot, they can block rockets. So in a way, they could technically be used as a form of cover if you're lucky enough to get a good cycle that they block the thing with their bodies. Got it! Okay, that was the secret. Just don't jump on that final jump. That was a bit of a pain, not gonna lie. That's for sure. But the fun pain train is only just beginning. Oh boy. Also, apologies if I'm just disappearing right now. Due to my lighting setup and the power of the sun, it's kind of blocking out blue, which is on my shirt. So, what can you do? I could close my curtain, but I don't know if that would really improve things. Maybe I'll try it. Okay, that's better. That definitely improved things more than I can imagine. Lol. Okay, what do we have left? We got Dragon Mine and Blizzard Bluff. So, okay, just a couple more courses left. Dragon Mine, here we come. So, despite us getting kind of close to the 3-hour mark now, I am going to try to finish up all the races, or more. No. What I'm trying to say is, I'm going to finish up this third hub area. Once we're done collecting the last of the CTR tokens, then we'll call it a session. Excuse me. Yeesh. What am I burping up? That last burp felt like I was burping up the frickin' smoothie I had earlier. It was a good smoothie. Don't get me wrong. Strawberry banana. But I did not want to burp that up. Nice tap. A rat-a-tap-tap. And no, I'm not trying to be funny. Damn. Okay, so when it comes to the T token, getting that token is a bit of a pain in the butt. Why? Because you have to defy common sense. What you have to do for that particular token is you have to jump back down onto the loop or onto that turn, and also now that I think about it, couldn't I also use a bomb to get it? Damn it, I missed! Okay. That probably was not the best idea to attempt doing that again. But I think if I get lucky with my power-ups or something, I may have a chance to come back. Come on, turn, damn it! Wow, screw you, game. Well, so much for that comeback. No way I can come back after that and being blown up and being thrown into a wall. Especially at a crucial time like that.
Yes,
Nice job missing the C token. What am I hitting? Okay, that was just complete fucking bullshit. Why did I just suddenly jump like 2 million feet into the air? I don't get this game and its physics sometimes, I swear. So one other thing I haven't really mentioned yet is the mask power-up. It acts a lot like the Starman from older Mario Kart titles. How does it do that exactly? Well, it increases your acceleration rate so high that you're able to get to top speed in like 1 second. So that is pretty neat. Gotta love them rockets. Everyone gets a rocket all the time, but I don't. There we go. Finally got the damn T. Now I just need to catch up with everyone else. Took the words right out of my mouth, Cortex. By the way, if you get multiple masks, one thing you really should do is wait for one of your masks to expire before using your other mask. This way you're able to stack, or not really stack, but more or less capitalize on the speed and acceleration boost you receive from the mask's power. Excuse me. Time to finish this up. And let's not do anything stupid now, okay? Okay. There we go. Finally done with that. That took a little longer than I would have liked for sure. It was just due to that frickin' T token. Jesus. One absolute dick placement of a frickin' token. But I will say this, when it comes to that token, it will also be teaching you a particular series of box placements for the frickin' time trial relics. My lord, it's really something else. Just saying. I will say this as well. I feel like we've waited more on frickin' loading screens than playing the actual game today. Hopefully, if this game does come to PC, the load times will be addressed. In fact, I believe they will, especially considering that a lot of modern-day systems are using SSDs as their primary storage device, rather than regular old traditional hard drives. You know what I mean? Alright. Here we go. Final race of this session. Let's do this. And funny enough, this particular hint is a very valuable one. It not only tells you about mastering advanced techniques, but it's also very beneficial for all the other modes in the game outside of this ring rally mode. I almost said road, like El Dorado. My god. I really am losing it. I guess it just goes to show that I'm really tired right now. Well, granted, I am kind of sweaty. And this room is rather infamous for the fact that it's like a frickin' sauna. Okay, this was the course I was talking about earlier about some of the tokens here being incredibly badly placed. Thankfully, that token is not too bad. Oh, come on, seriously? Come on! Again with the frickin' rocket spam. God, it's like getting frickin' nailed with red shells all day, every day. Okay. I will say this as well. Certain shortcuts that are really difficult to take normally, if you have a mask power up, they're pretty much free. Just saying. One more thing worth mentioning here is when it comes to the shield power-up, if you activate it, then it only lasts for a short period of time. Even if you don't hit anything, it only lasts for a short while. Afterwards, it'll just vanish. I almost forgot about this R token. Well, thank God I was far enough ahead to be able to turn around and realign myself with it. Jeez. I almost completely forgot about one of the tokens, and that would have been really, really embarrassing. Not gonna lie. There we go, folks. Hub 3's CTR tokens and trophies are ours at long frickin' last. That's awesome to see. Alright. I gotta say, we made some really dang good progress today. I will say this, though. The progress pace that we're currently on pace on, oh my god, what kind of sentence was that? English, too much hard? Go in school. Anyway, as I was trying to say, our progression rate is probably going to slow down quite exponentially in the next session, because the last few tracks in the game are some of the most difficult ones yet, for sure. Oh boy. Thankfully, it's only like 4 more tracks and another boss race, but even so, we did make some good progress today, and that I'm very happy about. And we're at 42% complete. 42% may not necessarily be halfway, but that's only because we still have all the other collectibles to get yet. Let me tell you folks, it's not going to be easy, but I know for a fact we can most certainly get it done. So, with that folks, I bid you all adieu for today. This is General Snivy with the Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled playthrough. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you were able to attend the live stream live, thank you for attending. Next session, we're going to be heading into the final main hub area, Citadel City, take on nitrous oxide, and also take care of all of the other collectible MacGuffin things that we need to take care of as well. We got a lot to get done within the next session, and hopefully we'll be able to get everything done swimmingly. Though, if I have to guess, Adventure Mode will probably take like 3 sessions to finish, at the very least. Again, this is purely a guess. We'll have to wait and see how things turn out. So again, thank you all so much for watching, folks. Hope you all enjoyed. And I'll see you all next time for more CTR action. Bye-bye.